What's going on, people? It's your man the YB back once again. Big shout out to my darky Sean Clues for coming through and boosting up the coin. So we got some breaking news for you, man, regarding Anthony Joshua and Jarrell Miller. I've heard from people close to the situation. His Turkulency, Prince Turki Salman Sheikh Mohammed bin, is fixing to make Miller versus Anthony Joshua. Bottom line. And the reason I'm doing the video on this alleged leaked, some people are saying claims from people close to the situation, is because honestly it makes sense. That's how I feel right now. It makes sense. It makes sense. No, there's no point putting Jon Stewart in there with Danny D. I'll take it. Equally, the Fury and AJ fight, it's all clear. Yeah, the battle of the British bums, we can have that any time. The point is, I want to give AJ one more shot. And Jarrell Miller, he's not a punk. He whooped Andy Ruiz's ass, respectfully. He whooped Andy Ruiz's ass. Andy Ruiz can never talk to me about Mexican style again, because he was running in that fight, right? Ruiz must be my movement, running. Ruiz was crying and whining about how Johnston was running and whatever else. Fine. Big Babe Miller stood spark in front of you and you was running. So get Andy Ruiz's outfit. Yeah? Jarrell Miller beat his ass like he robbed something. That said, Jarrell Miller is beatable for AJ. And I want to give him, listen, Jarrell Miller's a big old oversized heavyweight. He's a big old oversized heavyweight. And if AJ has anything left, he'd do a job on Miller. Miller don't have the head movement or the power. He definitely have the power. Miller does not have the power or the speed. And his feet are really slow. If AJ can't look 10 out of 10 against Miller, he is finished. At that point, they should start pushing for the Fury fight. The biggest bum of Britain. That's what they should do. But right now, don't wait around for Fury, Johnston. Yeah? I've been telling you for years, stop bum licking another dude. That's what you spent your whole career doing. Oh, I'm taking the year out waiting for Tyson Fury. Now again, people are claiming you. I didn't believe it because you ain't gone for adversity yet. But people were claiming, oh, you're rising in your career again. If you believe that, if Eddie Hearn believes that, if Ben Castillo Davidson, yeah, if Ben Castillo Davidson, listen people, listen. If Ben Castillo Davidson thinks that you're on the way up, why are you waiting till May for? Why wait till May? Get in there on an undercard. For example, if Dubois is going to fight in February, get on a Dubois undercard. That's where you are now. Yeah, forget about the main event now. You're not the main event no more. You're not. So get on the undercard, Miller versus AJ. And I think there's a chance, if AJ has anything left at all, he could actually do a better job on Miller than Dubois did. Dubois stopped him in the 10th round, the last round, and it was at points. I mean, I had Dubois winning 7 rounds, but still, at points it was back and forth a little bit. I can see AJ. If AJ's got any magical power, I don't believe in it, but if he doesn't have any magical power, he should knock Jarrell Miller right out, because Jarrell Miller's too slow and he's too planted, stuck in the mud. So if you've got any slick party tricks that can do anything at any level, you'd knock Jarrell Miller out quicker than 10 rounds. That's what I believe for Miller. Yeah? That would be a great fight. And if he, listen, I guess the argument is, well, if AJ lost to Miller, then it's like, oh my god, this guy's washed. He's washed. Miller can't punch like that, though. Who did Miller stop? Miller's never stopped no one. Never. Has he? He can't punch. He couldn't stop Andy Ruiz, who was finished. I don't think he'd stop AJ. I'd like to think he wouldn't. So the worst case is AJ losing a points decision. Jarrell Miller, but then again, Jarrell Miller beat Ruiz by a round or two, and Ruiz was doing nothing. I find it hard to justify how, even as finished as AJ may be, I don't think Miller punches hard enough to knock AJ out. I've seen him in there. He's kind of slapping, and speed kills. When you're slapping and you're slow, people see the shots coming. It's hard to get knocked out when you see a big shot coming. And Jarrell Miller's shots are all wide, and he's 330 pounds, man. He's slow as molasses. So this could be a great fight. Not to mention, promotionally speaking, you can hear the bars now from Jarrell Miller. But promotionally speaking, for a long time we hear about how AJ's a statesman. But this was the fight where we saw some bad minds in AJ, at least in the build-up. So there's history there. Commercially speaking, I guess it doesn't really do much for the UK fans, for the casual fans, but from a broader global base, it'll be intriguing. I'd be intrigued in that fight. Yeah? Why not? Are you on the build-up or not? Arguably, is Miller less dangerous than Mbongo? I don't know. But they're all the kind of same level dudes. Wallin versus Miller. You'd have Miller winning, but Miller ain't going to stop Wallin, I wouldn't have thought. So AJ's fought at that level. And when you go to the top level, when you're going in there with Maximus Danelius, and you get your cherry popped for you, knocked out, respectfully. Yeah? And Maximus Danelius finished sending you to meet your maker. The logical thing to do is take a step down. Bash. Go in there with Jarrell Miller and start up again. People, listen. If AJ goes in there, looks phenomenal against Miller, knocks him out in 5-6 rounds, which if he has anything left, he should do. Yeah? If he's got any magic tricks that actually are real, he'd go in there and knock Jarrell Miller out in 6 rounds at some point. Miller's got a solid chin though, but still, I think Dubois has loosened up Miller's chin. That whooping he took against Dubois would have loosened. He's ready to go. Miller's ready to get. It's a bit like Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce had a wicked chin, and then everyone's having a go on him now. I think Danny D would have had a go on Miller's chin. So he's ready. Next one who touches it properly. Andy Ruiz can't punch. He can't punch. Quick hands, but he can't punch. So you can't count Ruiz. Oh, well, Ruiz touches his chin. Ruiz can't punch like that. Ruiz could never punch like that. The only guy he could punch with was AJ. That's the only one ever. Andy Ruiz looked dangerous. Andy Ruiz couldn't punch with Parker, who we know's been down. Even Dillian White put Parker down. Yeah, Andy Ruiz been in there with Miller, couldn't do nothing. It's only John Stewart. I guess the argument is, well, why beat Ruiz could put down AJ. That was speed though. Miller don't have that speed. He does not have that speed. He does not. He has the great work rate, but it's like there's no. You're waiting for him to turn his hips in. That's what you're waiting for. You're waiting for Miller to get a bit nasty with it. You're always like a high volume. There's no like real spitefulness on it. Anyway, here's Miller's comments. He said, where are we? Miller, who was stopped by the improving Dubois in late 23, believes that if John Stewart again fights Dubois, he will lose once again. Same outcome. Miller told Boxing Scene, AJ's still getting knocked the F out. I think it definitely does end his career, but he's big money. They're going to keep milking the cow, milking the Mandingo fighter. Yeah. Massa Candy Herbergerstein. Yeah, that's what Jarrell Miller's saying. Jarrell Miller just said here, Massa Calvin Candy Herbergerstein is going to keep milking the cow until there's no more milk left. Yeah, like a true Massa Calvin Candy Steen. Yeah, that's what. Come on now. If you hit people, if you hear a man, if a man's name, if a man's family legacy is known as the Massa Calvin Candy Hernstein legacy, you know what he about, man. He getting his coins. You're gonna get him his money. That's what you're gonna do. Yeah, and he's telling Johnston, your man Dinglebull, get my money. That's what Barry Hearn said to him. He said, listen, Johnston, it might be time to cash your ass out because you're gonna get me mine. That's what Eddie Hearn said. Eddie Hearn Steenberger said. So you best believe that one. It goes on. Hopefully me and him can get it on before he's retired. Danny D blitzed him. He didn't think Dubois was that fast, and we all know AJ don't got a chops. Instead of waiting for him to run out of gas and get out of rhythm, let me jump on your ass now. And that's what Dubois did. I need that fight first before Joshua retires. One more loss and he calls it quits. One more bad loss. He's made enough money already. I give everybody the recipe to beating Anthony Joshua already. He ain't got no chin. He ain't got no heart. Put balls in his face and he gonna quit. The same thing's gonna happen again. Now, he goes on here and says, AJ, you gotta fight me before you retire, you punk. B-I-T-C-H. Now, listen, we can all be critical of AJ, but I'm going to give him some credit though. I am going to give him some credit. Yeah, the reason people like Ade said, oh, he should retire. I mean, I'm biased to being a fan. Yeah, if he wants to get in there and get punched up some more, I'd rather see it than not. If that makes sense. People are too quick to say to retire. There's other fights. Just because you're not fighting at the peak level no more, there's still fights there. And people, again, a lot of people who aren't athletes don't know how addictive it is. When you all you've been doing for your adult life is sport. You don't want to. You can't go back in time, right? You can't be 45 and come back. Unless you're named George Ahmad Foreman. But generally, once you're done in this game, you're done. So why not squeeze a little bit more juice out of it? Yeah? If it's there to be squeezed. Now, if AJ goes in there with Miller and gets popped and knocked out, then he is literally finished. But like I was saying, the saving grace for me with AJ, I've been critical as you know, but the saving grace, the little glimmer of hope that I think it's worth running again, is that 5th round. He could have, like he did in Ruiz 1, he could have just gone in there. AJ was against all the odds in that Dubois fight in round 5. He could have easily just ran around the ring like he'd been doing. He did. he did try to have half a go in that round 5. He had half a go. So that's his little saving grace there. He could have gone in panic mode like he did with... Listen, AJ did not come forward against Andy Ruiz once after them knockdowns. He was complete survival running mode. AJ landed the right hand and he came wading in. Man, listen. It's the fight game. If you've got that, if you can get clipped... AJ started too late, ultimately. He started trying to get ugly with it too late. That's why I like the old school man. The old school man, the minute that bell went, I just watched Tommy Hearns versus Tommy Hearns. Obviously, Tommy Hearns and Hagler, it's a classic. Both men, the minute that bell goes, they're spiteful. You watch most old school fights, to be honest. The minute bell goes, there's no like, oh, let's have a look and let's posture. They knew what time it was. Psychologically, it's a different mindset. The mindset today is, oh, let's see if I can win on points. The old school mindset was, you see you plumber from Liverpool. I'm doing you some serious harm. That's what the narrative was. I watched the other one, Hearns versus Duran. Hearns just comes out, just letting his hands go. Just letting his totally ferocious, man. They'll think about, them old school, man, they worried about cardio later. I'm coming out to do you some harm. That's what I'm coming out to do. I'm going to do some harm, and I might get tired, and we'll work it out from there. These new age guys, it's all like self-preservation and I don't want to be tired, so I better just clinch and faff around and posture. AJ came out posturing. He did not come out... Again, Daniel Dubois is a great example of that. Daniel Dubois, historically, he's explosive and powerful, but he's a bit of a posturer. Watch the Usyk fight. He comes out and he's giving Usyk too much space. Flip that round now to the Hrgovic and AJ fight. Dubois coming straight out the gate, old school. Straight out the gate. Now, Dubois isn't actually as ferocious as the old school man, I'm going to be honest. He is more, probably the best of both worlds, to be honest. He is more refined. He'll make sure he gets his jab landing. I saw that Tommy Hearns cat, man, his hands just swinging out, man. He's putting like 4 or 5 punch combinations together from the jump. So there is a balance to it. Fuck, I mean, if you got to go one way, if I had to make a fight to one way, it would be that Tommy Hearns way. Just coming out and slinging it, or Hagler, just coming out and slinging them hands. Yeah, coming out and slinging them hands. Especially in today's age. In today's age, coming out and actually trying to fight and not faffing around, it's like gold dust right now. So the point is, AJ has a glimmer of hope, particularly in an Andy Ruiz, in a Jarrell Miller fight. With Fury can be tricky. To fight Fury, yes, the money is there, but that's always going to be there. You want a winnable but entertaining and relevant fight, which is Miller right now. That is a winnable fight. If you go in there and knock Miller out in 6 rounds, you can then build a narrative of, I've done a better job than Dubois did, and you're there again now. You've done something. Right now, people are sceptical of the Ngannou fight. I'm sceptical of both of them, and the Wallin fight. You've done nothing. Miller would be leagues above the Wallin and Mbongo win, for sure, right? So let's get that one on. Put it on an undercard somewhere. Listen, if Turkey wants to do it as a main event, fine. It doesn't bother me. But or maybe even put Jarrell Miller versus AJ on a UK O2 card. If the Riyadh season is going to only be 6 months. I'm hearing that the Riyadh season might stop in December or February and not start up again until October. So if that's the case, AJ versus whoever, maybe they come back to the UK, not Wembley obviously, but they do an O2 fight. Put it somewhere there. Yeah, if you're serious about your career, Johnston, and go in there with more form. Not, I mean, with to be fair, with Miller, you could probably try some party tricks because you're not going to be punished, and Miller's slow enough, and he's not powerful enough. Dubois will punish you for that, but Miller, you might be able to get away with some of them party tricks. But even so, forget the party tricks. Go in there, and that mindset you had in round 5, go in there with bad intentions from the first round. That jab where you're faffing it out, stick it right on him, right through him, punch right through him, Johnston. That's what you need to do, because you fanning around too much, man. I don't know. You've picked up bad habits. You used to know what to do. He did. He used to know what to do. Watch his old fights when he was with Tony Sims. He knew what to do. Then he's gone with all these new age trainers, and they've got him flapping his jabs. Get in there and get on him. Pop, pop, slip, slip, whap, whap. Yeah? That's what you need to do with Miller. Get in there with Miller. I'm ordaining it right now. I'll pick the phone, spark up to Turkey and tell him we want Johnson versus Miller right now. That's what we want. Yeah, let's see what Johnson got left. And if Johnson gets beat by Ngannou, then he can do the same thing he's doing now. Sit on the couch and just beg for the Fury fight. There's no point hanging around though, because you're delusional. If you think Fury's going to fight in December and then fight in May, you're bugging. You're just bugging, man. I know what Fury's like. The only reason he's getting back in there in December now is because it's contracted. If you think Fury's gonna essentially fight Usyk, win or lose, and then somehow rush to get back in the ring in May, you're bugging. It's going to be September. It's going to be Q4 25, which means AJ will have been out the ring for a year. Even if you're optimistic and think it's going to be September 25, that's still a year, right? You don't. Why would you waste a year now? You've got maybe 2 or 3 years left. You built the momentum. You had Wallin, Mbongo, and now Dubois. Yeah, okay, you got a little bit of a setback. It's time to get back on the wagon again. Because what you haven't really done, that was a bit of a step there. People was getting carried away with the Mbongo fight, but really Mbongo's is a wrestler. He's not a boxer like that. Miller would be the best fight of your last 4 if you beat him. That makes sense. You can forget about Wallin. Wallin didn't come to win. Miller will come to win as well. Whatever you say about Miller, he will come to win. He came to win against Dubois, but wasn't in shape. I mean, he says it here. I want my rematch with Dubois. I had a month to prepare for that fight. I don't know how true that is, but call it what you want. He came in there on business with Andy Ruiz, right? He didn't come in there fighting like the B-side he was on paper. He came in there trying to win. So he's not going to put... I don't believe, whatever Miller's flaws are or his misgivings are, he will not roll over and let Johnson just tee off on him like Wallin. Or he will not just stand there like this, like Mbongo. He will not. He'll go in there and have a go. He'll plod forward with his slow feet and slap away. That's what he'll do. And that's what when you see AJ against someone like that, who's beatable, you can craft a plan to beat Miller. And if you can't pull that off, then yeah, get your begging pot out and just beg Fury for a fight. But you're not at that. I don't think AJ's not at that point now. If we're to believe he was trying to recreate his career and whatever else, you don't lose one fight and go to the begging pot. Yeah. Get in there with Miller, get your confidence back, and then really the world's your oyster. If AJ knocks out Miller, we can then talk about the Dubois rematch. That then carries some weight, right? At the moment, it's like, who wants to see that? You've shown nothing. You've shown us 1 round against Mbongo, and the Wallin fight was whack. You've got a taste of what that round 5, that'll be a taste. Yeah, AJ will have a taste now of what it's like to be in a fight and be fighting, trying to win in a fight. He'd never had that before. You get the Klitschko fight, maybe the Klitschko fight, he had a little bit of that, but that was the last time. That was 10 years ago. So he's got a taste of it now. He'll know what he wants to do. So come back with a fight that's winnable. It doesn't have to be on a main event. It doesn't have to be the big show thing. Get on there and humble yourself. Ultimately, humble yourself, man. If it's about being a prodigy of the game, humble yourself. Say, listen, man, I know I'm not a main event no more. Let me go on there, knock Miller ass out, and I'm back on. That's what he should do, but he won't. His ego's too big. Oh, I've got to be in the big lights. If AJ should really take a pay cut as well. AJ should be picking the phone now to Turkey and saying, listen, Turkey, man, I get it, but come on now, put me in there with Miller. I got something to prove. I don't need the money, so pay me some average bread and let's run it. I mean, knock this guy out and get back on. That's the attitude he should have. Forget about Dubois right now. You could argue, he should just jump straight back in there with Dubois. I don't think he needs a middle fight. He needs a middle fight to get his confidence back for sure. And Dubois the wrong guy. Dubois. Miller will put it on you, but he's beatable. Yeah, his feet are really slow. His hands are really slow. He has no power. So there's something there. Dubois, he's got good feet, great jab, and great power, and great cardio. It's like, I'm not really sure. Watching the Bacoli fight today versus Jared Anderson. And I think Bacoli's going to be too slow for Dubois. That's the truth. I think Bacoli's going to be too slow for Dubois. And Jared Anderson was popping Bacoli right in his mouth. Now, Anderson don't have the power Dubois has. I think that jab from Dubois will be popping Bacoli right in his mouth. I really do. And I think after a few rounds, Bacoli get tired. Anyway, let's see how it plays. Who even knows with Caballero? Caballero might... this is a great time in boxing for sure. And there's no reason for AJ not to be in the mix. Just because you're not at the top no more. If Fury loses to Usyk, then you know what I mean? You might as well have knocked out the Miller. If you knock out Miller, you're above Fury at that point. What's Fury done? What's Fury done? Fury's no... Show me a Fury Miller's beat. So show me a Miller Fury's beat. Dillian White's chinny, man. Miller ain't chinny. Miller can take a shot. White can't take a shot like that. He can't. That's why Parker had him on the floor. Parker can't punch. Parker had him on the floor. Oscar Rivas had him on the floor. So you can't... I'm sorry. Dillian White is not even a Miller. He's not. Sorry. He's not a Miller. Miller's robust. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, like the bell 100%. There's no doubt about this one. People, stop it.